Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon and Geeky Sparkles sitting this video out because, frankly, this topic bores her. We're going to talk about Twitch having another controversy. Apparently, they're allowing people to gift 1,000 subs, but there are concerns about it because people are doing chargebacks. And this should sound familiar to you because we've been talking about on YouTube how there is a scheme or something going on that a lot of people are doing super chats and memberships, and then they're doing chargebacks months after the fact. I know Camelcast got hit really hard for thousands of dollars, and in the case of YouTube, the creator is actually on the hook for it. So we're going to take a look at what's going on with Twitch. And look, I think all of these companies, whether it's Twitch or YouTube, whoever it is, I feel like there is some financial pain going on here because they are relying more and more on their creators to, shake down their own audiences for revenue, right? And that seems a little weird to me, especially given how big these platforms are, especially given how profitable these platforms supposedly are. In the case of Twitch, we know they're not that profitable, but you know what I'm saying? Something is not right. Something is not right. Something stinks to high heaven that they really have to push for you to shake down your audience. And remember, guys, I don't know what the split is on Twitch, but on YouTube with the super chat, I know it's like 30%. So you see these people getting these like massive super chats, knock 30% off of that, and then whatever. I don't know if there's MCN fees or whatever, and then they got to pay taxes on that, and they might get to keep a third of it, maybe. So it's kind of crazy. Let's talk about all this stuff though. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Hey, if you want more of Clownfish TV in lieu of super chats, go to more.clownfishtv.com. That actually takes you to our Substack page, where going into 2026, we're going to be putting a lot more content over there. Don't worry, we will still be on YouTube. We will still be doing podcasts, but all of our, extra content or our other projects or whatever, it's going to be over on the more subdomain because I don't trust YouTube. I don't trust YouTube. We have to have a fallback. And I know a lot of people have been doing Patreon stuff. I don't like Patreon that much, but check out more.clownfishtv.com. So before we read about Twitch, let's just remind you what is going on with YouTube. YouTube is actually, people are trying to community note YouTube. Apparently they're out there now being like, we're thankful for creators. We love our creators, go you. And I wonder if this is actually written by a human or if it's done with AI, because every time YouTube posts now, they're getting all kinds of blowback from creators who are like, hey, my channel was wrongfully terminated. Hey, I'm on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars because of chargebacks. And we just did a video yesterday talking about how I think we're looking at end stage YouTube, or at least YouTube as we've known it for the last, decade. It's ending. It's over. YouTube seems to be putting their content, their real content creators on the back burner to chase Hollywood. They will allow you to do shorts, but a lot of those shorts are just, AI generated slop from overseas. They really want to be a Netflix. They really want to be a Disney Plus. And I guess they're actually operating at a loss, both YouTube and Twitch. My understanding is the streaming costs are so high for live streams and storage and all that, that they're actually losing money, which is insane. You think about the billions of dollars that these platforms rake in, and they're actually losing money. And I watched a short the other day. Bad me, I know, because now that I watch one short, that's all YouTube is going to feed me is shorts. But I watched a short where Asmongold, and what we'll talk about him, is reacting to the cost, or what he is costing Twitch annually to stream. And he mathed it out, and it was almost $3 million a year with his audience and the amount of time that he streams, which is insane. But so I don't know how profitable these companies actually are. And I wonder if that has something to do with this. They're just trying to recoup their costs. So Twitch stirs controversy with 1,000 gifted subs addition and removal has come from win.gg. Donations and subscriptions are among the biggest elements in many streamers' income, and streaming giant Twitch stirred some controversy by adding a 1,000 subscription gift feature only to quickly remove it from the platform. Oh boy. Streaming is a full-time job for many creators. They try to maximize their revenue however they can. That is true, but also these platforms want to monetize your audience, right? They want you, they basically anymore, it used to be that they would push people to you, that they would let you get discovered, but now they want you to build your own audience and then they want to monetize them. It's kind of like crowdfunding. It's kind of like any of these platforms. Like discovery is not a big thing. I don't know if anybody's being blacklisted per se, but they're not going to go out of their way to promote you. They figure you go find your audience somewhere, you push them to your videos somehow, and they will take a cut, right? That's it. Revenue that comes in a platform like Twitch doesn't just affect the streamers. Twitch also takes a cut from any streamer revenues introduced. So if a streamer receives gifted subs, Twitch will deduct its share before sending the rest of the money to the streamer. Yes. The new 1,000 gifted subs feature that Twitch has introduced was potentially set to increase revenue for the platform and content creators alike, but it has unceremoniously been taken down amid outcry, controversy, and plenty of discussion. Twitch was called out for allegedly being money grubbing and not thinking sufficiently about either its viewers or its streamers with the new, more expensive 1,000 gifted subs feature. How much? $5,000. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. This is just opening up a huge can of worms. So I can see why they got rid of it. Cause again, going back to YouTube, going back to Camelcast, he's on the hook for like $10,000 or $20,000 because somebody kept super chatting him. Now, I don't know if it was the same account or the same card being used for multiple accounts. Me personally, and I'm not throwing any shade at him, I want to be very clear. I barely know him. But if I were getting massive gifts from the same account or just in general, I'm like, man, I made like $3,000 in super chats yesterday. That's a little weird. And I don't recognize some of those names. I'd be very suspect. I would. And I've been on streams where people are giving out gifted subs like candy. And I'm kind of like, that's a little weird. I'd be weirded out by that. You know, I mean, we don't do live streams very often, and I definitely don't shake people down for super chats. They do give us super chats. I've actually debated about turning them off completely. But yeah, somebody drops $5,000 and then they do a chargeback. I mean, just imagine if you think you made, hey, I made $20,000 this month because we had some very generous donors give us a whole bunch of money, and then they go to their credit card company and do a chargeback. Well, if it works like YouTube, you're on the hook for that. So 3 months down the road, it might be that, you owe Twitch a bunch of money. So yeah, I totally see why people were concerned. I'd be concerned about that too. Right? Their main reasons for the new feature would be potentially an issue. For one, many streamers have been the victim of getting large sub gifts and donation amounts where they may receive and put to use. They may receive them and put to use only to find out later the transactions were charged back. This happened on Twitch too, but again, it happened on YouTube. It happens on YouTube. Ludwig weighed in, claiming the platform was just adding the new feature as a pure money-making method without considering its potential side effects. He listed multiple features, including the 1,000 gifted subs option, while also pointing to hype trains that pressure users to subscribe to channels in order to maintain them. Ludwig stated that Twitch could concentrate on making its app better rather than finding more ways to wring money out of its users. That's just it. They're not getting the money from the advertisers. And this kind of goes along with what, I was talking about with YouTube yesterday, where it feels like they're competing now with Netflix and Disney Plus, not just on a content level, but on an advertising level. Because it used to be that YouTube, if you wanted to do video ads, YouTube was pretty much the only viable game in town. And now people are looking at Netflix with ad-supported Netflix, ad-supported Disney Plus, and they're like, oh, well, we know this stuff is brand safe because this is a major company. And they might be willing, since they have subscriber revenue, they might be willing to cut a better deal with a big advertiser like, Coke or Walmart or somebody, and basically cut YouTube out of that. And we're seeing garbage tier ads on YouTube. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to rely on their creators to shake down their own audience. And I imagine Twitch is doing the same thing because Twitch is not in as good a place as YouTube is right now. In fact, my understanding is before all of this, Twitch was not even making a profit. Twitch has never made a profit. Amazon bought Twitch like 10 years ago and they can't get it to make money. And they've had multiple controversies, high profile controversies. Here's one headline from primetimer.com. Hassan Piker's dog collar, Mizkif, Zoe Spencer, latest controversies explores Valkyrie wishes to quit the platform. A lot of people are quitting Twitch. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. And then we had creators a couple months ago complaining about their ad revenue dropping, including that one kid from FaZe who was like, if I only wanted to make $2,000 a day, if I only wanted to make $2,000 a day, I'd be a mailman. Where the hell are you going to be a mailman that makes $2,000 a day, bitch? Nobody is. So an ex-user and self-proclaimed ex-Twitch employee echoed Ludwig's sentiment, claiming the platform had only introduced this new feature to hit end-of-year revenue targets before getting into a public debate with current Twitch product manager. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this. This guy says they were a dev at Twitch. Okay, as a former member of the Twitch product team who built out gift subs, I can tell you the only reason this feature exists is that internal staff are scrambling to hit end-of-year revenue targets with low-hanging fruit features to squeeze every penny they can to keep leadership happy. Wow. Since this took off, Twitch staff are good people who care about the creators. The problem is Twitch is under high pressure from Amazon to be profitable. Yes, we've talked about this before. Amazon is cutting divisions that aren't profitable enough. And people don't understand, when you have a mega corp like Amazon or Walmart or Disney or whoever it is, you can be profitable and you can still not be profitable enough to stay in business, to keep your division open, because they're going to look at it and be like, I'll make it very easy. We can spend $100 million on this thing and make $200 million in profit, or we can spend $100 million on this thing and make $500 million in profit. And it's about resource allocation, right? And they're going to look at Twitch and be like, how much money, time, resources, PR headaches are we enduring to keep Twitch afloat? And what is the end goal for Twitch? And they're always going to look at that. The reason Amazon bought Twitch in the first place, as I understand it, was that they were going to use that in tandem with their own gaming ambitions, right? Their own video game studios and, streaming platforms, whatever the hell they're going to do, right? And they shut a lot of that down already. So if it was just a marketing thing for them to have Twitch and have all these streamers playing their games or whatever, and that shit the bed, and you've got constant PR nightmares with Twitch. I mean, you have the whole thing with Emaru at TwitchCon. I mean, I can't even keep, I don't really pay much attention to Twitch streamers, right? But I can't keep track of all the controversies this year alone. If I were Amazon, I'd be having a stroke. I'd be like, every GD week, Lord forgive me, every week there is a controversy. There is some kind of controversy, some kind of garbage going on at Twitch that we got to put this fire out. And every headline for Twitch is negative. Every single headline for Twitch is negative. I wouldn't keep it in business. I'd be like, no, I don't care. Even if we make a little profit, I don't care. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't want to be the guy at Amazon that's like, yeah, we're keeping this place on life support and we're letting, Hassan go out there and make threats and zap his dog on air, and we're, there's sex scandals and all this other crap, which is going to affect the Amazon brand. I'd be like, shut it down. It's going to cost us more money in the long run to keep it online, unless it's making ridiculous money. I mean, you can justify just about anything if you're corporate. You can justify just about anything if it makes ridiculous money or brings ridiculous value. But if it's not even doing that, it's got to go. So this sounds to me like it's the last ditch effort. So he says, which creates a system where are we hitting the revenue target will generally be, is this healthy for users? Yeah. And it feels like that's going on at YouTube too. Mike Minton says, hey, Dev, I hope you're doing well. This is an incorrect take. We did this because we have a small number of users that gift large amounts, and this makes it easier for them. This is Mike Minton. who works at Twitch. Okay. The revenue lift here doesn't make a difference as most of these users were already gifting large amounts. I would be suspect, especially if it was a guy like me that's covering like tech news and pop culture news. I'd be very suspect of a large gift. I don't have any tits to jiggle. And if I did, I really need to go on a diet. But yeah, I mean, I would be very suspect of that because I'm like, that is like, until that thing clears, I would not even touch that money because you don't know what's going to happen to it. We had something like this happen years and years ago on Kickstarter. We had somebody pledge, and they've changed the system a little bit, but this is like early Kickstarter. They pledged like $10,000 to a campaign of ours. I'm like, and I wrote the person, I said, hey, that's really weird. Like, yeah, we're asking for like $40. I can see $100 maybe, and you're like $10,000. This makes no damn sense. And the $10,000 put us over our goal. And then the person was really smarmy, and then they just canceled it to put us under again. And it was definitely a form of trolling. That's one thing I think that Indiegogo did better is you get the money up front, because there are a lot of people that can pledge to Kickstarter and then just, you don't get your money at the end. Right. But this is different. This is like the money's actually going into the coffers, and then 3 months later it gets taken out. This dev says, Mike, I hope you're well. I understand the business angle and on-platform creators benefit of gifting, but when you're talking about thousands of dollars for a single transaction, rev share does more harm than good. Yes. It makes more sense for that cash to be donated to the streamer where they can purchase better equipment, pay mods, pay the bills, etc. Razban says, I'm confused. Is this supposed to be controversial? You're describing corporate executives operating in accordance with their fiduciary responsibility. Everyone engaging with this feature is doing so voluntarily. What's the issue? Nice try, Dan Clancy, who is the CEO of Twitch, by the way. Yeah, so this is this is an ongoing problem. And Asmongold said that he was going to ban people for this. Now they've already pulled this down, but there are people. Again, if you're a streamer and you see people just like giving out memberships like candy, like ridiculous, unbelievable amounts of money, that's a huge red flag. And I'm going to tell you, just based on what I've seen, do not spend that money because it might not be a permanent thing. And now because of this, because of all the headlines, I think more people are going to go out there and be like, yeah, I'll give you like a $10,000 gift. Snicker, and then I'll get back in a couple months and I won't have to pay it. Asmongold threatens bans for Twitch fans gifting 1,000 subs amid new feature controversy. He threatened to ban any Twitch viewers who donate 1,000 subs to him amid controversy over a new limit with gifted subscriptions. Okay. So yeah, this is interesting. Let's take a look at this here on X and see what's going on. Am I allowed to react to Asmongold? Am I allowed to react to Asmongold reacting to other people who are reacting to people who are reacting to people? I don't know. Am I going to get struck for this?
Imru gets I saw this. Imru gets a 1,000 sub. I hate women. I fucking hate this shit. It's gonna get refunded? Yeah.
And I shit you.
Not you! This guy gifted 1,000 subs.
What the fuck? Thank you. I'm literally stun locked.
If you do that to me, you're getting permanently banned.
Yeah, I agree with him, because that is 9 times out of 10. That is definitely somebody setting you up. And I think beyond that, I think when people give you that amount of money, they feel that they should get something in return. And in the case of someone like Emaru, who was actually groped at TwitchCon, even if it's legit, like I could totally see some guy just like walking up to her, hey, I gave you $5,000, let me cop a feel. I could see that. People feel like they have, more of a right to you, I think, if they give you that much money. And that's a concern I've always had. I mean, it's another reason why we don't really do a lot of live streams and ask for a lot of super chats, because that has always concerned me, because I almost feel like, no offense to anybody who does this, but I almost feel kind of like we're dancing monkeys. Like, okay, well, here, I gave you $50. You got to say what I told you to say. I'm like, oh yeah. But sometimes people send, and 99.99% of the time, you guys are fantastic. I appreciate the support. Really do. But sometimes we get people in there that are I would say bad actors, or they just want to see what they can make us do. And I just am not. I don't want to do that, because there is that feeling of obligation, right? And when you're giving that much money, I mean, especially to women, I absolutely think there's definitely some kind of expectation, if it's not a troll, right? If it's not a troll.
I'm gonna say it right now. Anybody gifting me 1,000 subs, you're getting permanently fucking banned. Like, I'm sorry, but like, somebody doesn't give you $5,000 and not want something out of it.
Yes.
Unless I know that you are a Saudi Arabian prince, you do not do it. You have to, like, if you do it, the only way that your ban appeal can come in is if you send me your 1040 from last year.
Yeah, if you're like a multi-millionaire and you've got entirely too much money and you're looking at it as like a tax write-off, like, I'm just going to donate to Asmongold. Yeah, I can see that. That's insane though. This is not going to end well, or would not end well. And it turns out that they already put the ban hammer on this. So according to the article on WinGG, yeah, it's already gone. Twitch removes 1,000 gifted subs feature same day it debuts. It's unclear why they removed the new feature. Yeah, it's very clear, but the 1,000 gifted subs option disappeared from the platform silently within a day after it was introduced. Some users expressed their appreciation for Twitch taking into account viewer and streamer feedback. They commended the platform for promptly removing the feature. Others weren't optimistic, and fresh speculation has been fueled by Twitch removing the 1,000 gifted subs without making any official statement on the matter. Some viewers question whether the platform had to remove the option because of an ongoing 35% discount on subscription costs. Oh my God. So that's like, yeah, a couple $1,000s off. A couple $1,000s off your subscription, as it would significantly affect the revenue Twitch receives from large gifts. While much of the discourse is centered around individuals donating large amounts of money and large numbers of subscriptions, it could be that the option was added to provide more efficient means for high value donations from rich companies and individuals looking to contribute to subathons. To just buy an ad. I mean, at that point, if you got $5,000, 5 or 10 grand to give to a single streamer, you probably could buy a shout out for that, and it's a lot more legit. They send you an invoice, they give you a shout out. Yeah, you probably would get more bang for your buck. That's what I'm saying. It's a very, very weird way of looking to support somebody. And I also think there are some political machinations going on there too. Again, who are the most popular streamers on Twitch right now? Aside from Asmongold, they're left-wing political talking heads. If they're getting large donations from, PACs or something, I'm just saying. I mean, it opens itself up to all kinds of abuse. I don't think it's a good. I don't think it's a good idea. I think that whole system, though, I gotta be honest, that whole streaming for tips system, I think is fundamentally broken. And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop on that one, which is there will be like some kind of like FCC investigation or action or something that you can't do that, because basically people are giving you money to say things on the air or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could totally see that being the next shoe to drop. But right now, these platforms are desperately looking for cash, and they're going to shake your audience down. And I don't think they give a shit about the chargebacks, because in the case of YouTube, they're still getting their fees. Right? Camelcast still had to pony up the fees. He still had to pony up the 30% or whatever. And he's in the hole. And he has been in the hole for weeks. So just be very careful. If you're going to do this thing, just be very, very careful. And anybody that's giving you that amount of money, I would definitely call that into question. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.